Hey there, it's Diane Forster, and welcome to I Have Today, where we talk about the art of intentional living. I am your host, and I am excited about today's show because we have an amazing guest coming into the studio, and she's actually one of the new hosts on the I Have Today TV network. Her name is Sharon Lee Williams, and she is going to talk all about her show, her career, her business. She's extraordinary. I'm going to read about her in just a minute, but first let me tell you what the theme of our show is today. It is supporting foster adults raised outside their family of origin with Sharon Lee Williams, who is an advocate for this and so passionate about this work. So we wanted to bring Sharon on the show, first of all, because she's an extraordinary woman and what she's doing and what is happening in her business and with her television show and the communities that she's working with is extraordinary. And you know how passionate we are about helping women here at I Have Today, both on my show and now on our television network. And Sharon is a part of the support that women need. And she's going to talk all about her passion for the aging out and aged out women who have not been raised by their family of origin and what happens to them. There are some scary statistics about this. And so she is what I call, she doesn't call herself this, but I call her, she is shining the light and illuminating how to use your voice to empower yourself to live any kind of life that you want to live, that you are limited by nothing. It doesn't matter what your background was or where you came from, that you have a voice and your voice matters. And as a musician and an entertainer, she's used her voice throughout her incredible career to empower and entertain so many people. So she's coming up in just a minute. But before we get to that, let's share this week's intention statement with you. And this week, our intention statement is, I have today to raise my voice, be empowered, and live my dream. And you do. I have today to raise my voice, be empowered, and live my dream. And the reason why we wanted this to be our intention statement for you this week is because you matter. As Sharon Lee is going to share with us, you matter. It does not matter what your past was or even your current situation. You have the power and the ability to make your life anything that you want it to be starting today, right here, right now. And one of the most powerful ways you can do that is by using your voice, speaking up, sharing your story, sharing your uniqueness, sharing your talents with the world. So what the team does every single week on this show is they create a beautiful graphic. There it is on the screen right now. I have today to raise my voice, be empowered, and live my dream. And where you can find that is on Instagram, on my Instagram page at Diane Forster Official. If you hop on over there and you go over to my profile, you're going to see a little button that says intention statements. And this beautiful graphic is already there. And what I want you to do is I want you to take a screenshot of it. And then every time you look at your phone this week, that is going to be your reminder about how powerful you are. And so that's how we create positive, permanent, lasting change in our lives through repetition. You need to be reminded of how extraordinary you are. So make sure that you do that over there. And if you're not following me over there and you feel called to and inspired to, give me a follow. I'd love to learn more about you. All right. Now, before we bring Sharon onto the stage, which we are in just a minute, we want to hear a word from our sponsor, the Spifter. This week's episode of I Have Today is brought to you by the Spifter. The Spifter is a fun sifting spoon that makes cooking, baking, and decorating with sugars and spices so much fun. No more mess or wasting your spices. It's fast, clean, and easy. Everything looks and tastes delicious. It's also great for straining loose tea, getting pesky broken cork out of your wine glass, and draining liquid off food like olives and capers. Whether you're a novice cook or a gourmet chef, you'll love the results. The Spifter, the kitchen gadget that no kitchen should be without. Well, hello, Sharon Lee Williams. Welcome to I Have Today.
Thank you, Diane. Raise your voice, be empowered, live your dream. I love it, I love it, I love it. Absolutely.
Yes, well, you are all about that. All right. So if you are new to Sharon Lee Williams, let me share a little bit about her with you. From a baby until she aged out in her late teens, Sharon Lee grew up in foster care. Her upcoming book, OutRaised, Finding My Voice Beyond Foster Care, describes her journey of transformation and how she found her voice as a sought-after session singer and performer, a vocal coach and performance coach. She created her own agency for singers and a recording studio. She co-produced, wrote, and directed Hot Wax, a musical tribute to the girl groups in the Motown era. Sharon Lee brought her first home at 31 as a single woman, which helped her create financial independence. After 50 years as an artist, here she is continuing to empower, inspire, and motivate and educate the world. And she's got an upcoming television show, which we are going to talk about today, called OutRaised Voices, Your Voice Matters. Sharon Lee Williams, wow. So happy to have you here, my sister, my TV show host sister. Yes. So exciting. So exciting.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So, all right. Let's talk about you. As you are truly an extraordinary woman. I'm in awe of you all the time because we know each other now. We're getting to know each other really, really well with you as a host on this network. Talk a little bit about your story. What is your story and how did you become someone who was in foster care and raised out of it?
Well, I went into foster care as a baby, and I arrived at my first home, as I call my first home, at 19 months. I was 19 months old. So that was my first family. And I didn't know my history. I didn't know the background. I just, that's what I was. I became a foster child. And it was a little rough sometimes and really good other times. But the voices, here's some of the little background. My foster mother, who I call my mother today, she's passed, but she used to say things like, your mother should have drowned you.
Oh, no.
Nothing, things like that. And that was a kind of like a constant wave in my upbringing. I don't know why she would be like that one day, and then the next day it would be something different. But I was raised with two other foster siblings who became my sisters, and occasionally we'd have other foster children who would come into the home and leave the home. But my core family is foster mother, my two foster sisters, and that's my core family. So fast forward to I go into another home when I'm a teenager because I was being rude. I flunked grade 8, and I
Oh,
was because I was messed up. I was really, by that time, a messed up child, and I had come home and I'd seen my younger foster sister, who was 5 years younger. She was crouched on the floor because our mother had been kicking her. So I said, that's it. I phoned the services. I said, you have to take us out of the house because I was no longer afraid of my mother. I was bigger than her. She was tiny. But my little sister was a tiny, tiny little thing. So I ended up in another home with my sister because I wasn't going without her. And we thought that home would be great because it was another Black successful family. I thought this is fabulous. At in-ground swimming pool, all the treat, but they were messed up too.
wow.
Unhealed children become unhealed adults. So
Yes.
part of the journey, that's part of whether it was my foster mother 1 or foster mother 2, they were unhealed. And I only got to recognize that, of course, after, as a grown up, to sit back and say, oh, well, what was their life like? What was their mother like? What was their father like? Because I didn't know that. And then when I aged out, um, I said to people, oh, yeah, I'm aging out. This is freedom, freedom. And then when I got out there, I didn't really understand what freedom meant. What was I going to do? Where am I going to go? How am I going to pay rent? I didn't have a job. I had run away again. And, I had hitchhiked downtown and all that stuff with a strange man. And I say this, the story I share is not because I feel like a victim or anything, but I think I'm asking people to share their stories on my show on OutRaised Voices, and to share their story rather on OutRaised Voices. So I thought I would share a little bit of what I went through. So when I went, this man that I hitchhiked with, who was in a bus, we were the only people on this bus, and he was coming to pick up tourists or whatever. And he invited me to his motel. And I remember thinking, well, is this all that I'm worth? Because this other foster home and said, you're never going to amount to anything. You're going to be a cleaning woman or a prostitute. So going through, that's how my mind was working. I'm not going to mount anything. I didn't have the language I have now to say, oh, that means I'm not enough, or there was no language, no such thing. It's just go out, do it. And, but fortunately, even though I got myself into a position, I was able to get myself out of the position. And I call it like divine intervention, because the same gentleman said, you have a choice to leave here. He said, I'm going to go have a shower. I'm leaving this $10 on the table. And if you're here when we get back, then fine. Otherwise, I would like you not to be here and to take the $10 and go. And I was only like 16 and a half, something like that. And I sat there and I sat at this table. I can remember this kind of ugly little motel table, thinking, what am I going to do? Is that all? I mean, that's how my life is going to look. And I remember saying, no, that's it. I'm not going to do it. I took the $10 and I left there.
So where did you go? Where did you go? Do you remember?
I stayed at a friend's house, and I didn't tell them what had happened. And then I talked to what they were called the Red Feather Services at that time, and which is like the Children's Aid Society and all that. And I spoke to someone there. I said, I have to get a job, and I really wanted to be a court stenographer for some reason. I don't know what I wanted to be, but I ended up. So they said, okay, we're going to spot you this whatever money it was to take the course. I didn't end up taking court stenography. I ended up becoming a key punch operator. I know out there you're going, what is that?
Yeah, what is that?
Key punch operator was you'd go into this big room when they had the big computers, and you get a programmer, and you'd have to like type these cards that were fed into these giant computers. And that's I was the typist for the computer, which was key punch, and I loved that job.
Do you know that I thought I wanted to be a court reporter too? Court stenographer. No. Yes. So I actually did go to school for it. I went to school for 2 years. I went to San Diego State my freshman year of college, and then the summer between freshman and sophomore year, I moved back up to LA and got a temp job. This is now, I'm dating myself. Like, I know you'll get it. A lot of listeners may or may not get this, but I had taken all these secretarial classes in high school, so I knew shorthand and dictation and typing and all of that. So I got the job at the agency, but this thought in my mind from high school was still there that I wanted to be a court reporter. I thought that was a great job. They made a lot of money. Would that be so great? So I did go to school for 2 years at night and realized I hated it. I hated it. So, and now that I know you so well, I can't see you doing that, but yeah.
Yes, like you, shorthand, typing, that's what the jobs were. Certainly, and I'm older than you, let the audience know. I'm older than Diane. So don't,
But
don't fear.
listen, we're not old. We're not old. It's just a number, right?
It's just a
Yeah.
number, absolutely. But in those days, so that's what happened. That was the start of being a key punch operator, actually became the start of my short-lived business life, because I went from there to another job and became the manager of the department of whatever it was. And then I got the call to be in the show Hair, which was a Broadway show at the time, and
Yes.
they were doing a version of it in Montreal. So here's where all the doubts come in. That my friend is going, and she says, "Why don't you come and audition, because you can sing?" Oh, no, 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 I can't sing. I mean, these are professionals. Now, I had all of that stuff, but eventually I ended up going. I made it through, and that was the start of my other profession, the longest profession, in music and voiceover work and commercials and live, and I found my voice in that. But in saying that, finding your voice, I found that voice, but behind all of that was still all the doubts, all the anxiety, all the I'm not good enough, all the, you know, how I was showing up, but
Yes.
again, not having the language
Mm-hmm.
for that. I didn't know why I was behaving in certain ways. I just did it because people
Yes.
saw me as strong, which I am, resilient, and um, many other things. But it was that was clothing, fashion was my shield, strength was my shield, even to the point that uh, I in those days I drank a lot of scotch. I smoked cigarettes, because was a look. You had to look
Yes.
tough because nobody's going to penetrate. You're not going to allow that to happen. Don't penetrate, because not just fear of people penetrating, but they're going to see me and they really won't like me. There's two sides to this coin. I'm going
Yes.
to protect myself, but I'm also doubting who I am. They're going to see me and not like me.
Yes. So let's dig into this, because you somewhere along the way discovered this talent. How old were you, and how did you become this incredible singer and star in Hair? What led you down that path?
That's what led me, was just that audition and
Oh, that audition. Got it.
audition and actually making it through the audition and then on to TV. I did a lot of TV from there.
So when did you discover that you wanted to do that, that you had talent and you wanted to do that?
I didn't
What
know
was,
that.
oh, you
I
didn't?
No, no. Even as a youngster, I mean, I used to sing at not church, but like a Sunday school, because my foster mother would wanted me to do that, and I never understood. My sister was always my older sister was gung ho for that, but I was shy. And then I do radio shows, and I never thought I had talent. But like a lot of kids say, I remember having that hairbrush and standing in my bedroom with the mirror, and I would drape this thing over the light, and I would sing into a hairbrush.
Yeah, I love it. So what led you to the realization that you wanted to help young women who were aging out or had aged out? What was that for you?
Well, it took a long time for me to get there. How, I remember, and I was thinking about that today. I remember praying one day and saying, God, what is my purpose? How do I give back? I want to give back. How do I do that? How do I do that? And at the time, I was making a lot of money. And I said, what is it? Do I need to be broke to get it? Within 6 months of that prayer, I almost lost everything.
Wow.
And
Oh my
after he came out of that, I realized, well, that wasn't it. That's not what, you know, you put that prayer out there asking God, and I guess he said no. That
God.
you have to see this in order to know that that's not the truth. It's not, so
That is a powerful message.
yeah, it was really powerful. So after that, I said, I've got to find a way. I want to find a way, but it took several decades later. And I think it was really after I had my son at 39,
Mm-hmm.
and somewhere in my 40s when I started self development and education. I said, because I wanted to be, I didn't want to have my baggage um, carried over to my son. So I decided that I was going to really dig into who I was and where I belong. But just to back up from there, at 31, we talked about the house, but I also met my biological parents at that age,
Okay.
which made a huge difference in terms of finding where you belong. Who are these people? I never asked the question, why did you give me up? But I knew. I never asked. They weren't together, but so I didn't meet together.
Why did they?
My biological mother said that she was 22, had come over from Bermuda to study bookkeeping, met my dad, and they fell in love, yada, yada, yada. And he promised to marry her.
Mm.
Where have we heard this story?
Yes.
So, and she believed it. That was her first, at least this is the story I was told. And so when she did become pregnant and he said he was going to marry her, it didn't happen. And he wouldn't put my name on the birth certificate. Now, when I asked him the same question, he said, oh, we were fighting too much, and that's why I didn't do it.
Mm.
Even in that, Diane, I have to say, the mother takes most of the brunt of this, the weight of this, because I know after carrying a child for 9 months, it's got to be hard
Yes.
to say goodbye. I can't do this. We never talked about that, her and I, because she was a very strong woman, Jehovah's Witness, and didn't want to go there. But it had to be really, really difficult for her.
Yes.
So that is why, and with all of those steps in between, I finally, with the self-improvement classes and all this and courses, and it's only, I wanted to do a course, which I started, but the course didn't work out.
Mm-hmm.
And somehow, let me just say this, I met the lovely Diane Forster. And at the end of last year, and I thought, okay, I'd come off a mastermind. I said, I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to leave everything alone. Just forget about it. And there you were.
Mm-hmm.
Another shows up. The universe shows up. That's a TV show. That makes sense. It just resonated. And I felt that I I could help in a more people in a bigger way. At least that's what I feel, that I can reach more people. And so that's where we are today. So
Yeah.
that's,
That is, I haven't heard your story to that level. So thank you so much for sharing that with, of course, the audience and then with me. And I know how passionate you are about this. And I know that the statistics are very scary. I'm sure it's the same in Canada as it is here. 2 out of 3 uh, children and young adults that age out end up either dead or in jail, right? So there's a lot of scary statistics out there, right?
right. Or prostitution or babies or, and it is across North America.
Yeah.
And of course, when we look at the statistics, it is children of color, Black children who take a smaller percentage of the population, but a larger percentage in care, as
Yeah.
well as here it's Indigenous children and Black children. So um, I just want to inspire. It's heartbreaking when I hear the statistics. It's even though there are more resources out there. There are
Yes.
more resources out here than my day for sure.
Hmm.
But why aren't these kids trying to access them, or is it difficult, or what is the mindset? Because we have to get to that first.
Right.
What's the mindset? Why do you feel this way about yourself? Because not being in conversation, especially when you age out and you don't have a community to say, so what did you do?
Right.
How did you get there? It isn't a conversation. You're not going to your party and say, hey man, I just aged out.
Yes.
What's
It's
happening?
there's guilt, there's shame, there's embarrassment, there's feelings of unworthiness, not
Yeah,
being wanted, being
yes.
cast away or thrown away. And what I love about what you're doing is you are creating this platform for the stories to be told and the resources to be made available. So that's what you're going to be able to do with your show, is be able to educate them on the possibilities and the opportunities, right?
Yes, I call all the guests CEOs. Why? Because they bring conversation, education, and outreach. And
I love
sometimes,
it. I
yeah,
love it.
yeah. So
The
all my guests
CEO,
are CEOs.
that is so good. So my CEO today is, oh, this is so good. I love it. I love it. Um, what do you tell everybody a little bit about, like, the format of the show and what you see it offering to people?
Well, we're going to have, like I say, we're going to have conversation, we're going to talk about families, the mosaic, the different types of families. We're going to talk about, um, we're going to have inspiring stories as well from youth who have gone on to post secondary and doing things with their lives. We're going to have artists, young artists and musicians. We're going to have mind, body, and soul coaches, people who bring, and financial experts, people who can bring um, education and inspiration to those listening. Now, I have to say, as far as youth aging out of care, I'll be honest, I'm not sure they're going to come to the show. But by virtue of hearing about, or what, I think they'll watch the show to hear about what other youth are doing or what adults have done, or hear that they're not alone in their story and their, what's an old story, what's a new story. Uh, I don't know. I just think I want them to take away even if 1% shift is huge. And if 50 people watch and only one person gets that 1%, that's fabulous. One to one to many,
Hmm.
right? If one takes away, they'll pass it on. So
Yes. Yeah, they will. They will. And one time of coming and feeling the love and the support, the resources that are available will keep them coming back for more because they're going to rely on you as a trusted mother who can bring this to them, that they're not forgotten. They are valuable and they matter. Their voices matter. And that is what you are bringing so incredibly beautifully.
Plus
I'm
my lived experience, sorry, plus my lived experience, I think, allows for some trust, a lot of trust to say,
yes.
"Oh, you get me."
Yes, because I've seen a lot of people want to come on this show, and it'll be interesting to see who wants to come on your show too. But I find with I Have Today, given our, you know, broad spectrum of intentional living, you know, it really can be, want to come on this show and, you know, they're claiming to be experts, but you look at what they do and who they are, and there's not alignment there. You are a living, breathing example of what it is. You've been through it all. You've had, you know, lots of success. You've had, you know, tons of growth opportunities. We don't use the word mistake or failure, and lessons we use. And you have so much wisdom and support to offer. And so that's why, as hard it is as it is for them to trust, they are going to trust you. They are. Yes, they are. And you're also working with the Canadian organization right now. You're talking about supporting each other there. Is that okay to talk about or no?
Well, I can mention Children's Aid Foundation. I'm sure they'd love to uh, be mentioned, and hoping to partner with me on some things, and we'll see where that goes. I'm very excited about it because they're the largest charitable organization in Canada that deals with children and welfare and all of that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's
So
a win-win for both of us.
that is wonderful. All right. I have a couple more questions for you, and then we'll talk about ways to find out more information, how people can follow you and find you. The first question is, how do you live the I Have Today way, which is intentionally in the present moment? And if you could answer that with, I have today too, please.
I have today to be the best me I can be today, to be loving, to feel love, to I have today to enjoy the sun, to enjoy life, to give back, to live my best life.
Beautiful. So beautifully said. All right. And then what do you wish more people knew?
What do I wish more
More
people knew?
people knew.
I wish, well, I'm going to use that part. I wish more people knew that their voice matters, and that I do say to people, I'm God's unfinished work of art. He left the finishing touches up to me.
Oh, I've never heard that. That is so, is that an original from you? Sharon Lee, God's unfinished work of art. I got goosebumps. Um, all right. How can people find out more information about you? We'll talk about the time period for the show, but how do people find you?
Well, please go to the website, SharonLeeWilliams.ca, and you can hit the button, OutRaised Voices, and the information when I'm starting, what's happening, people. And please email me with ideas or feedback. I'd love to hear from you.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Right. And then you can also email her team at info@outraisedvoices.com and find her on Instagram at Sharon Lee Williams. Oh, wait, did I do that? 9? Am I reading that right? Is that what it is?
It is.
Sharon Lee Williams. Yeah.
Oh,
Sharon Lee
God.
Williams 9.com. Okay. Not .com. Okay. All right. And then I wanted to share with everybody that Sharon Lee's show is premiering in just a couple of weeks on I Have Today TV network. You can find it on e360tv.com. It's also streamed on Roku, Amazon, Apple, Hulu, and many other streaming platforms, about 18 other streaming platforms. So start looking for her. Her show is going to be airing live on Sundays at 12 p.m. Pacific time, 3 p.m. Eastern time. That is her show time. So we're so excited to have you at I Have Today. I know the world is going to absolutely love you, Sharon Lee. And you are going to make such massive impact with this show, allowing other people to raise their voices because their voices matter. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Diane. Thank you so much.
Okay, we'll talk to you soon. What?
Thank you for being an angel.
Oh, well, back at you, sister. Love you. Love you so much. All right, bye. She's amazing, truly amazing. All right, before we get to our mantra meditation and some other highlights of the show, don't go anywhere. First, we've got this quick video for your opportunity to learn about launching your own TV show. If you want to be like me and Sharon Lee Williams and make a bigger impact in the world, then pay attention to this. Do you want to become a TV host and earn 5, 6, even 7 figures in your business, even if you have no experience? Listen, if you're a woman professional and entrepreneur and you help women solve a major life or business challenge with the work that you do, then this is for you. If that's not you, feel free to click skip. But if that is you, then pay very close attention because what I'm about to share in this video has the power to transform your life and your career. Hi, I'm Diane Forster. After 20 years at ABC TV and hosting my own TV show for the last 5 years, I've made millions of dollars in my career, won multiple awards, appear all over national media and big stages, all because I have a TV show. I'm not spending all day doing marketing strategies that just don't work. I'm using the power of one brilliant TV show to do the work for me, and I'm teaching my clients how to do it. Now, the strategy works so well, we've been able to quickly help women just like you launch their own brilliant TV shows, streamline their marketing efforts, and generate more income and impact. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to check out this presentation right now. Just click the link below under this video. You'll be taken to this sign-up page where you get a 24-hour pass to watch the presentation. Now take a look at Alexis Johnson. She was struggling with her marketing and in her business on how to effectively reach her right market. She put these strategies into place and launched her first show in just 30 days. Not only that, she generated $25,000 in revenue before she even launched. Now here's Megan Benson. She was also struggling with trying to be too many places and was getting nowhere. And she had no experience in TV at all. She followed the strategies and her new game show, Get in the Game, is premiering on ABC in Santa Barbara. So again, click the link and go to the sign-up page for your 24-hour pass. Then sit down, get something to take notes with, and watch this masterclass because this has the power to change your life. Now, it doesn't matter what niche you're in. You absolutely can and should have a TV show. This works for you, even if you have no experience, or you don't have a lot of time, or you don't even know how to start. You need to click this link now and learn how TV hosting can totally change your career and life. Click the link, sign up, and I'll see you there. All right, well, it's been an absolutely wonderful episode today, but we're not done yet. We are about to do our mantra meditation, so please stick around if you want to leave here feeling better at the end of this episode than you did at the beginning. You want to be inspired, empowered, and educated. And let yourself really ingrain what we learned today and take it in. Have a little bit more awareness of what actually is going on in the world. There's people like Sharon Lee Williams who are doing epic work in the world. And she is, after, 7 decades of life, doing this and taking this on to serve the world in an extraordinary way. So let her be an inspiration for you, that you can do anything and you're limited by nothing. It doesn't matter what age you are or what your background was. You have no limits whatsoever. So here's what we're going to do. We are going to, if you are driving, obviously you can't do this. You can kind of tune in and listen. But for everybody else, stop what you're doing. Stop all distractions. Don't be multitasking. Take these couple of minutes just for you. Put your feet flat on the floor. Put your hands on your lap, either face down if you feel grounded, or turn them up if you want to receive more energy. And then what I'm going to ask you to do is I'm going to ask you to breathe in for the count of 4 and pull that air all the way down to your tailbone, your root chakra. Then you're going to hold it for the count of 8. And as we're counting, as I'm counting, we're going to send energy to all 8 of your chakras, your root, sacral, solar plexus, heart, throat, third eye, crown, and soul star, which sits about a foot above your head. It's a very important one. So imagine as we're counting with each number that it's lighting up with energy. You're re-energizing your chakras, okay? It's going to send healing energy to every single part of your body, all right? Then we're going to breathe out for 8 seconds, like you're blowing out birthday candles, and blow hard as if you're releasing anything toxic, anything negative, any past trauma that might be trapped somewhere in your body. It's coming up and out of you. We're going to do that 2 times and then just listen to the words. All right. So here we go. Close your eyes, hands on your lap, breathe in for the count of 4. Here we go. Ready? And hold it for 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And blow it out for 8. That should feel really good. Really good. Let's do it again. Breathe in through your nose for the count of 4. Pull it down. And hold it for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Breathe it out for 8. I have today to love my life. Something really good is going to happen to me today. I can feel it. Miracles big and small. I notice them all. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you. I have today to raise my voice, be empowered, and live my dream. I know that there is nothing in this world that I can't do, that I am not a victim of my circumstances. No matter what has happened to me in my entire life, I am here today. I am alive with breath in my lungs, and I can have any dream that I desire. I am going to use my voice and use it wisely. I'm going to use it to share my stories, my experience, my gifts, my grace. I'm going to use it to ask for what I want. I'm going to use it to ask questions about things that I don't understand. I'm not going to be somebody who hides and is laced with guilt and shame and fear and doubt and feelings of unworthiness, because at some point in time, my life has shown me from other people that I may not be wanted, whether that's in family or in relationships or in a career, a friendship. It doesn't matter. I am worthy and I matter and my voice matters. I am going to speak my truth because there is so much strength in speaking my truth. So that is what I'm going to do. I'm going to honor myself and I'm going to honor others for their dreams, their goals. And I'm going to do just what Sharon Lee Williams did. And I am going to ask God, how can I give back? How can I serve? What is the purpose of my life? And I'm going to listen to that. And I'm going to know this, that no matter what I've been through, the greatest gift in the world is being able to help another person. And that's the kind of person I want to be. I don't want to be a victim. I don't want to take on anything that's ever happened to me and make that be the definition of who I am. I'm so much more than that. And so it is. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, you can open your eyes. I want to thank my amazing guest, Sharon Lee Williams, for being here today. She is one of the TV hosts at I Have Today TV network, and her show is OutRaised Voices, Your Voice Matters. Make sure you tune into her show and tune into us every single week. This is I Have Today. We are airing live on E360 TV Mondays at 11 a.m. You can catch us also on our podcast, I Have Today with Diane Forster. Until next time, we'll see you. Take care. Bye-bye.